Yo, salute, everybody. God bless as we're here. Shimo Leisha Knicks. The Knicks are absolutely screwed. I got my guy, Nick G, and I believe Darcy's going to join us in a little bit. But yeah, the Knicks, after losing to the Suns, what was it, 140-97 or whatever the end score was, the Knicks are what, 2-8 in their last 10?
Yeah.
2-7 since New Year's Eve, 1.5 games ahead of seventh place. One of the worst defensive teams in the league since the New Year's. 15th in overall defensive rating after the 42nd game. That was last year. We're 29th right now in defensive rating. 19th overall for the season. Rim defense is 19th in the league. 3-point defense is atrocious at 28 in the league. By the way, with Brunson being out, the Knicks are now 1-4 with Brunson missing games this season. Last year, with Brunson missing games, 11-6. I'm not gonna say there's a certain common denominator, but we'll get to all that, man. But Nick G, my guy, man, talk to me.
So
You got your little. The Knicks are fine. Give us some color on yesterday's game. Talk to me, man. You don't seem to be too concerned, even though I think you are. You kind of like this degradation in certain ways, but I don't know why the hell you're not on the damn screen. But go ahead, Nick.
yeah, as long as everyone can hear me. I mean, can they hear me?
Yeah, they gave you. All right.
Okay, let's see. All right. So salute to everybody. Thanks for joining in. And I'm gonna try to keep up with the chat as well. But for the most part, I really want to get people's take on this because at times when I criticize or I talk, sometimes I feel like I'm just giving one side of the argument when I try to be balanced because I don't want people to feel like, man, I don't like Mike Brown. I just felt like he is not set up to be successful. At least that's my take. But the team, I think the team will end up being fine. But there's some things that, and fine really is more a definition of what is your expectation for the team. I don't expect them to make the finals, but I feel like the team and also the fan base, as well as James Dolan, the owner, believes that this is a finals ready team.
So you
I
said you don't expect us to make it to the finals.
no, heck no. I never believed that we were a finals ready team. No, never believed that because you got a new
Hmm.
coach, and I didn't feel like the coach was an upgrade.
Got you.
It's a lateral move, and I never saw anything that they added to the team that would actually say we fix the problems from a roster standpoint that fixes the problems that we had last year. Last year, when you look at after New Year's Day onward, we pretty much lollygagged all the way to the finals.
Hmm.
And I mean, all the way to the playoffs. So was that necessarily? Are we repeating the same thing? It looks like it. We lost a lot of games. We were under 500 going into the playoffs. I don't feel like we were per se a good team, and no one gained confidence. We didn't beat any top three team in the league at all last year.
Hmm.
We were competitive in some games, to say the least, but then we ended up beating Detroit. But Detroit wasn't as good as they were this year, right? Um, we beat Boston, and we were on our way to beating Indiana, and then up here just fell apart. So to me, are we a good team? Yes, I think we're a good team. I don't want that to be us getting that screwed up in our head like this is a bad team. No, it's still a good team. It's just are we finals ready? And that's the big divide I think all Knicks fans should have or should be contemplating. Like this is not a finals ready team. I don't feel like we're ready to handle the Thunder's defense or like do we have what it takes to match Jokic and that Denver team or do we have enough to match, say Minnesota or something like that? I don't feel like we're ready.
Fair enough. This is like I said, man. There's levels to this. I was never convinced by Mike Brown. I'm not trying to do I gotcha because I made videos on how the offense just from initially what you saw in preseason, the first few games, and then what could be done on what the potential could be on defense. Bringing Brendan O'Connor brought a lot of what worked in LA via what JVG brought to the team, which last year worked. This year, obviously they're struggling. But just overall, to me, Mike Brown again, he reminds me of like the kids I went to school with who, when in high school or even college, they would come to class with like a tie on and like a clean shirt, like a dress shirt, and it's like, what the hell? And they were always trying to make a first impression, and they got the same B's as you did. I don't want to say fraud because look, you get to NBA, I mean, you deserve it, and there's no like nepotism or he's worked his way up to being an NBA coach through merit. I'll give him credit for that, but when you get to a championship level, they're a championship level coach. There's just certain things you're supposed to be able to bring to a team, and I agree with you, Nick. Look, there wasn't a lot that was brought into this team. But even from these guys now, you're supposed to see, okay, I never saw that from OG. Or I'm just throwing out names. I never saw that from Cat, right? I never saw like, wow, he was actually able to scheme this play for a certain play. He's actually able to improve this player's ability. Like the only thing I'm really seeing now, even though he did it last year when healthy, was OG Anunoby's just attacking the basket a little bit more. Obviously with Jalen Brunson being out, it's almost like a necessity. But when I watch Mike Brown, I just don't think he has the mental chops. I think he panics. I think he used Jalen Brunson as a crutch. And I just laugh now because, people killed a former coach for not expanding the offense away from JB. And now you have a new coach who's seeing the same thing like, holy crap. I have a guy in Cat who shrinks in the big moments versus JB who's literally the opposite. And I don't care. I wish Sim was here. Of nothing but Knicks to Sim.
Oh yeah,
he'll tell you if you have and granted his is a little bit different because it's high school, so you're not, the complexities are different, right? You don't have maybe 3-4 really good players, even though in lower levels, college, right? But anyway, he'll tell you, look, man, you missing your best player, man, you are going to struggle because it's almost not even yes, there's a skill factor involved. But when you talk about the biggest moments, it's not also, people say, oh, you got to execute, but it's also be able to think at a high level in big moments. And unfortunately, we only have Jalen Brunson for that, right? And granted, look, last few weeks, the offense isn't the issue, right? It is the defense. We run a lot of defensive principles because I remember some people last year said, Tom Thibodeau's antiquated on defense, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, guys, they run literally, almost everybody in the NBA is running similar schemes. Outside of if you run zone versus man. They run very similar schemes. It's all about talent, or it's all about really guys who are going to execute defensively. I can't even say necessarily talent. Obviously, it's talent on defense. And the way that these guys, the way that they're getting lost in rotations, I could count maybe more than 10 times a game where there's a wide open catch and shoot because someone messed up the rotation. I'm not sure that's a focus thing to rile these guys up to play on a defensive level that's even just adequate enough to even sniff a championship. You just talked about not being able to handle the Thunder and all these other teams. And look, man, I don't say without JB, but even with JB, man, we don't have the physicality in this team. We don't have the depth from the bench. We don't have, like I said, offense away from JB, a player that I can hand the ball to and say, I don't have a scheme. I need you to score me 8 points in this fourth quarter. I need you to be able to control the game. We don't have any of that. And we don't have a coach that can scheme these guys. Say it?
Not reliably.
Right. And so I just think that, sorry, my bad, Chef Z. Let me send you the link now. My bad. Sheesh, how do I even do this? What the hell? Yo, give me 2 seconds, Chef. I don't know why StreamYard like changed the. They said I'm muted. I'm muted. Can y'all hear me? Yo. Salute.
I could text you the link so that you could text it to him.
All right, cool.
And forward it to him.
Now we got Darcy. I don't know why you can't see Darcy. Let me see.
All right, cool. What's up, Darcy?
Yeah, what's up, brother? Hey, happy New Year, man.
Yeah, that camera looking crisp.
Nah, I just got the light going, bro. That's all. I just got a little bit more light.
No, I thought it was the weed that wasn't. The weed smoke was not in the. Sorry.
Wow.
This guy.
Wow.
Oh man, Happy New Year, bro.
Man.
Yo, Darcy, salute my guy. Happy New Year, bro.
Hey, happy New Year, bro.
Talk to me, man. You sound I can really hear the depression in your voice, man. Go ahead, talk. I gotta fix some things.
Bro. I've been in good spirits despite the Knicks losing, and I mean the reason why is because to me is we've seen this. We've seen this
Exactly.
with this team, and yeah, you can say it's a different year, it's a different season, different coaching system. But to me, we've seen that this team does not always play with maximum concentration and intensity like they should. And I think when you make it to the Eastern Conference Finals in your first year together, and now have to go into the regular season and play at a high level every night, it's a challenge. These guys don't necessarily always have a will to win. And, you know, for a city like New York, we should only have players on this team that have a real will to win. We shouldn't have players wearing Knicks jerseys if they're not coming out every night with maximum focus and maximum intensity to try to win the game. But I will say this, I don't like the Mike Brown slander. So I'm going to defend Mike Brown tonight. I'm probably going to be his biggest advocate on your show. I don't know what anyone else's sentiments are, but I don't blame Mike Brown. I'm not at a point of even being close to blaming Mike Brown, and I'm going to give key facts as to why I'm not. But I'm in good spirits, bro, because the reality is it's finals or bust. It's either this Knicks team gets to the finals and loses, or ideally wins the championship, which really, to me, that's really the only option. Don't get to the finals and put us through that. Don't get to the finals and lose. That's one thing. But there's some concern of us even getting there. But to me, it's finals or bust. So there's two things on the table. It's either get to the finals and win a championship, or Giannis Antetokounmpo needs to be gone in the orange and blue come summertime, if not before this trade deadline. Those are the only two things that are on the table for me personally. So that's where I am with it. It's either these guys, they know the expectation. They know from top to bottom the expectation is a championship this year, really the finals at minimum. So if you know going into the season that's the expectation, if y'all fall short on this, what that tells me is you don't want to be a Knick enough. You don't want to win a championship enough. So any players who don't show up and perform in the postseason, I'm not really too concerned about the regular season right now. I am going to grow concerned if they continue to fall and it looks like we're not going to make the playoffs. Then I would be extra concerned. But for right now, my expectation is these guys, you went to the Eastern Conference Finals. You want to win. You went out poorly last year. That shouldn't leave a bad taste in your mouth, pause. So to me, these guys, they know what the expectation is.
I got questions, Darcy. And shout out to Zay, man. Salute, bro.
Shoot, my brother Isaiah, man. Salute.
Happy New Year. So I got a question.
Brother. What's going on, fellas? Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year. So one big thing for me is I'm along that same sentiment. I don't feel like Mike Brown was set up to be in the best position because there's a lot of pressure with trying to win a championship your first year into getting hired. But he knew what he was what the expectation was when he got hired. So that's a non-starter for me. I don't care about that. Wake me up when the playoff starts. But I do have a question for you, which is when you talk about the mindset, and I talked about this like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks ago. I was really bothered in the off season that no one seemed, at least with their discourse from a Knicks standpoint, that they were pissed or angry at losing to Indiana. That bothered me because I want to know that you're fired up to fight. I want to know that you're fired up to try to get there. And last year, PJ Tucker was here to do stuff to borrow your
be that
thing.
enforcer.
Well,
Goon
actually
life.
to motivate guys and to get on guys too, because he didn't play that much. But at the same time, you saw him giving speeches and stuff in the locker room as well as on the sidelines, and he was firing up guys. And we don't have that person this year. So, like they talked about this in 1 year with Julius Randle, that he's a quiet leader and JB is a quiet leader and stuff like that. And we need someone that could be rah-rah and speak up and blah, 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 blah. And Josh Hart fits some of that bill. But at the same time, I question things because who is going to be PJ Tucker for this team?
So, to your point, bro, and I'll say this. I feel like the front office thought process was that Yabusele was going to take on that identity because he actually played with some fire last year. He played with some fire in the Olympics when he dunked on LeBron. And you saw it last year in Philly. I had the impression that Yabusele was a dog. But I felt like they thought getting him, he was going to give you what Precious Achiuwa was giving you, but more, being able to space the floor and hit the three at a higher clip. And he was also going to play with that fire and that toughness and intensity that New Yorkers crave. So I think on paper, what the front office had in their mind was that you were going to be able to get that with a guy who could actually be a part of the rotation, right? PJ Tucker really served in that role, even with Josh Hart. In the playoffs, you heard him on the sidelines telling Josh Hart, shoot that mother, shoot that. When he even went and stood over, I forgot who it was that stood over JB, PJ stepped into the game and stood right over him. As New Yorkers, that's what we like. Marcus Morris, Mook, he put on that Knicks jersey, dumped dude on the head with the ball when we played the Wizards, and was like, yo, what's up? That's what we like as New Yorkers. We were raised on toughness. We're raised on grittiness. We're raised on willpower. You can't teach that. And so as an organization, a front office, I felt like they had a vision in mind and they thought about that and they accounted for that when they tried to put this roster together. But unfortunately, Yabusele has not mapped out to be that guy. And we don't really have anyone else on this roster with that demeanor. And that's why, to me, you need a guy like Jose Alvarado if you can get him before the deadline. You need at least one guy on your team who's going to say, F out of here. We're not going out like that. We're not letting somebody step on our court and treat us like we're so. Teams can't look at us and feel like it's blood in the water when they play the Knicks. We can't be prey. We have to be the Predators. And we've been the Predators for some years when we had Randall, when we had Dante. We had guys who played with some level of toughness, who weren't just going to let guys come in here and do whatever to us. They realize, hey, I have on this New York Knicks jersey. I have to take on this identity. I have to embody what the city is about. And right now, we don't have that identity established. So I'm glad you really pointed that out because that is, to me, one of the key issues with this team. We have a strong lack of intensity, and it comes from having too many soft guys on this team. Leon Rose messed up. And I won't say he fully messed up, but for right now, unless this team wins a championship this year, he messed up giving up those assets for Mikal Bridges and getting Karl-Anthony Towns. Because what you did was you took guys who, while they are talented offensively, and I'll say, Mikal somewhat defensively in the passing lanes, these guys lack toughness. These are guys who, when the Knicks would play against them years ago, these are teams that we would go on runs on or we would humiliate their teams because these guys didn't have any real dog in them. They didn't have any real dog in the fight. Now we're the soft team, right? And arguably we got more talented offensively, but you have to have toughness. You have to have an identity. And these guys, as currently constructed, we're not getting it. And Yabu, the lights are too bright for him. He went from a smaller Philadelphia to playing in a Garden, and he looks starstruck. Every time he makes a three, he does his little, it's like, bro, this is not a game. This is not something cute. We're not a cute city. We need goals.
He's almost, and if you follow him on Twitter, even when he's having like bad games, he'll put
little
post. To me, I would have sat his ass, man. Like, bro, you're not coming to the Knicks that overweight thinking you're gonna get playing time. I would suspend you. I would sit you. I would. This is why. To all you guys are saying great points, but a change in mentality can also come from the coach. Now, I think Mike Brown might be scared that his voice may not resonate in the locker room. He tries to take a harder approach. Pause. But you have, in a championship year, you cannot have nonsense creeping in and impacting or affecting the play of players. And when you have a guy like Yabusele, who's allowed to come in over, not saying he's not playing a lot of minutes, but you got to make an example out of some of these guys. Toughness can come from your coach. We are taking no nonsense approaches. People got mad at Tibbs that he would sit people after they make some mistakes. And when I look at this defense, I'm like, well, guys, don't you see? Why, if you keep messing up on the same rotation defensively, and they bomb three, if I see freaking, what's this guy's name? Goodwin from the Suns hit another three. If I see Julius Champagne hit another, it's like, I understand, right? And granted, it was typically with the younger players and whatnot, right? But these are the things that are eating the Knicks like a virus. Like you can't have a weak coach coming here with the fancy playbook, and it doesn't matter. When you talk about championship level, a lot of times it's a mentality. Yes, there are new wrinkles that are added by most championship level coaches, but it's also the mentality, the approach. And most championship level coaches are not friends, or not these buddy friends with the coaches. I remember till this, even I was young, way back in the day, when Phil Jackson took over for what's your man that went over and coached Jordan again with the Wizards?
Doug Collins.
Doug Collins. Go back if I'm lying. And obviously it's slightly before I was born. But I used to watch some of these films. I used to watch the ESPN, the History Channel, the whatever classics, whatever. And go back and watch how Doug Collins would be if Jordan won a big game, had a big shot in a big game to win. Doug Collins, happy like a fan. I'm like, ugh. You think these dudes respect you? You're supposed to be in there like, yeah, we drew that up. Good, Jordan hit a good shot, blah, blah, blah. You're supposed to be professional. You're supposed to show like, yeah, we expect this from our players. Versus Doug Collins would be like this if they win. He'd be down if they lost. Not to say that's Mike Brown, but when you saw the difference when Phil Jackson came in, obviously the whole Zen and all that stuff, and I still think Phil Jackson's overrated in many ways, but at least there was a sense of that he knew what he was doing. Obviously he had Tex Winter's offense to help him out. When you watch Mike Brown, because people love to say, oh my gosh, the transparency. I'm so happy we have a coach that tells us that we're running read and react in the first quarter. All this bum shit. And I'm seeing him sit up there and he's just yapping. I don't feel anything when he talks. Like, we're not changing anything. Nothing's moving in his defense. I don't feel like there's any consequences for players if they don't execute. So these guys like a Yabusele, these guys like even a Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby could go out there and granted, I know OG's been playing better as of late. Granted, Brunson's been out. But these guys just go out there and play whatever. You got Cat, who, thank God that we're losing. But thank God that people are seeing this, because when I said, yo, I don't want this player here, people said, oh, you hating, this and that. Now you finally see. Now y'all finally see. Y'all want to make excuses about he doesn't have a whistle, blah, blah. Who gives a flying F? You have to figure it out. Go to every great player. Every time they came to adversity, what did other players around them, former players, coaches say, yo, you got to figure it out. If it's a coach that's giving you issues, you got to figure it out. I mean, the refs are giving issues, you got to figure it out. We got a whole player in Cat who can't do and there's no consequences for his crap. I know we need him and whatnot. But this team, it's either you got to trade players or there has to be a reformation in how we're thinking. You guys are talking about individual players. A Jose Alvarado would be nice on this team, don't get me wrong. But it's also not easy if the majority of players think one way and Jose thinks the other way. Now you have it could turn to a situation where he looks like a bad apple. He looks like the guy who sticks out. Even if he's vindicated, by, the Knicks, Jose was right. You still have to find the right mix in terms of chemistry, and the easier way to do that is to do it internally. Something has to change. I don't know if Mike Brown's doing this, but Jalen Brunson's the leader. Ish has to change. The mentality has to change. We can't be dependent on individual players anymore. We don't have a Dante DiVincenzo who was, part of the whole Villanova squad or whatever, to instill that, to be gritty, to elbow somebody, to push into somebody after they made a bucket, maybe throw them off a little bit. We don't have that. And we can't depend on an external guy coming in. That has to come from the coach. So, my bad. I know I'm going a little... go ahead, Darcy. I'm going to get to Isaiah, because Isaiah is...
I want to point something out, too. I want to put something on the table. Because, I don't hear anything about this, but I think this is a very important detail. Mm-hmm. Mike Brown, we are not... We have to understand. People keep talking about Mike Brown. We are not running Mike Brown's system. Like, let's really point that out.
Okay.
And I'm going to point out the key facts as to how we're not running Mike Brown's system, as to how he came in with the thought in mind of how he wanted his system to be. We are not running it how he wants it to be. And I mean that in more ways than one. Mm-hmm. First thing, Mike Brown wanted to start Mitchell Robinson at the 5. He did not want to start Josh Hart. He did not want to continue with the same starting 5 last year, who went 0-10 against the top 10 teams, who struggled throughout the year, and from December up until the end of the year were at the bottom of the league in some categories, especially with generating threes. So let's understand that this current starting 5 as constructed is not built to win. We got confused because Josh Hart got injected back into the starting lineup and we had some more life. Mm-hmm. We gave up on the Mitchell Robinson at the 5 before it really had a chance to grow. Let's point out some key facts here. I think after we won some consecutive games with Josh Hart in the starting lineup, Mike Brown, after a post-game interview, went and said, hey, I got to give credit to JB's father, Rick Brunson, and the coaching staff for telling me, hey, start Josh Hart. Start Josh Hart. He said, hey, I didn't want to do that. I wanted more rim protection out there with Mitchell Robinson. And he wanted Cat to take ownership of being at the 4 and playing in a point forward role like Sabonis. And what did Karl Anthony Towns go out and do? He said, hey, I don't know what my role is. It's just different. It's just different. That's what he said. And I just went and made sure before I quoted what he said, that's what he said. He said, and he did this last year as well on the Thibs, but he came out this year again and said, hey, I don't know what my role is. And Mike Brown said, hey, Karl Anthony Towns has the toughest job on the team. He has to learn how to play the 4, and he has to know how to play the 5. And he has to be able to switch gears and do both. And Cat has not embraced that. So even though the Knicks are 21-10 with Josh Hart starting, that tells you Josh Hart is not really the problem, because Josh Hart is actually playing good defense right now and getting you one steal a game. So now what that tells me is the common denominator, the issue is really Karl Anthony Towns. That is the true problem on this team. And the facts point to it. And we can't blame Mike Brown because we're not doing what Mike Brown initially planned for this team to do. The first thing Mike Brown said was pace and space. Get to the corners. The Knicks are 3rd in the league at generating wide open threes. 3rd in the league. Even with this slid, we're 4th in offensive efficiency.
Are we still there?
Yeah. We're 3rd in the league still with generating wide open threes. If you notice, look how many threes OG is getting that he's not knocking down. Look how many threes McCall is getting that they're not knocking down. This is not Mike Brown's fault. Karl Anthony Towns is shooting 35% from 3. Career lows in a lot of these categories for Cat, 46% from the field. You look at Cat, the league has actually changed up how they're calling Cat, right? Cat is wrapping his arm. He did that last year. They were letting it go. This year, they are not letting it go.
Nah, they were calling it last year too. That's stupid.
I don't think it's much though.
They called it last year too, bro. Because we called it here several times. It's like, yeah, he has to stop doing that stupid ass. He has to either hide it better or just don't do it because they're catching him doing it. But my bad. Go ahead.
But like I said, Mike Brown, we are not running Mike Brown's system. If you noticed before, Mike Brown had this team running, getting out in transition, not allowing the defense to get set. Mike Brown said, push the pace so the defense doesn't have an opportunity to get set. What did the Knicks do? We reverted back to how we played last year. Let the defense get set and then try to get a mismatch and break down the defense. If you can't beat your player, attack the paint, spray the ball, try to kick out and get a wide open three. That's what we started trying to do. We reverted exactly back to what we were doing last year, except there's less ISO because we're generating more threes. The Knicks are 4th in threes attempted, 3rd in wide open threes. 4th in offensive efficiency, an offensive rating, even with this slid. So the offense is not truly the problem. You figure something out by injecting Josh Hart back into the starting lineup. The truth is, we need to get rid of Cat. It's either Karl-Anthony Towns needs to embrace his role and get better defensively at the 5, which at this point he's been in the league 10 years. You're probably not going to get much with that. With Mitchell Robinson starting next to Karl-Anthony Towns, the Knicks have a 113 defensive rating. With Karl-Anthony Towns at the 5, we have a 115 defensive rating. In this recent slump since the NBA Cup, we have a 121 defensive rating with Karl-Anthony Towns at the 5. That's insane. 121 defensive rating. And clearly it's not Josh Hart because we're 21-10 with Josh Hart in the starting lineup.
Yep.
So before we go and say it's Mike Brown's fault, if we were actually doing everything that Mike Brown wanted the team to do and we weren't being successful, then I would point the finger at Mike Brown because you designed this, you set it up this way, we executed to how you wanted it to be, and it's not working out. But that's not the case. Mike Brown showed flexibility and listened to his coaching staff, which a great coach, that's what he does. You trust your coaching staff, you trust what everyone else sees, and you be flexible. That's what the front office brought him in.
This is where I got to fight back on. And I'm going to go, Zay, you got right after this. This is where I disagree because if that's the case, if every player is supposed to be doing what they're supposed to do, you wouldn't need a coach. If every player is supposed to be doing what they're supposed to be doing, you probably don't need when we talk about championship level coach, you probably don't need a different coach. Just go out there and do what you're supposed to do, right? A coach is supposed to be able to instill that, right? And then get that out of you, elicit that out of you, right? To me, don't get me wrong. Look, thank you for pointing this out. Jordi Fernandez not being there, obviously he's coaching the Nets, right? He leaned a lot on Jordi Fernandez for that offense, right? And again, offense is not even the biggest issue. I'm not even concerned per se on the offense if we were just talking about it, right? But to me, you took the job. You took the job. No one forced you to take this. If I was Mike Brown, I probably would have sat out maybe a year or so, try to get on someone else's staff, pull a Steve Atkinson, get on a Warriors or something like that. I know I'm just saying any a high level team, and go that way because you look at the situation like you said. If you can't instill that in these players, you can't get out of these players. I'm pretty sure these guys around the league know that Cat is Cat. When Tom Thibodeau took the brunt of all the criticisms, but all these coaches know, yeah, Cat ain't really like that. We know. We just don't want the image of Tibbs. But we all know Cat ain't like that. I don't even want to coach that. A big albatross contract. He's putting up these numbers that everybody, surface level numbers, but we know it's not impacting winning like that. Unless you get him in a perfect mindset, which is not gonna happen all the time. Right? So, and you come in, you're supposed to be a defensive coach, offensive, all this crap. You're supposed to be able to coach up to Karl-Anthony Towns to not play drop back on the screens. To actually show on the help defense. To sacrifice yourself a little bit more on the defensive end. That's what a coach is supposed to do. Most of these coaches, when it comes to X's and O's, man, bro, at the end of the day, if you watch everyone watched it, OKC Thunder versus the Pacers in the fourth quarter, what was it? SGA offense. It's not some intricate, oh my gosh, this off-ball offense and Princeton cuts it. Man, F all that. It's your best player versus their best players at the end of the day. And then there's some stuff in between, obviously, in the beginning, defense and execution of certain things. But at the end of the day, a championship level coach is supposed to be able to bring out certain levels in a player, in players. And he has not been able to do that. If Mike Brown has been built up to be what he's supposed to be, he's supposed to get that out of him. And also, too, I agree with you. Yes, you confer to your coaches when it comes to innovations, things they're seeing, adjustments you need to make. But at some point, you need your own imprint, too. At some point, you're supposed to say, yeah, I'm not doing that. Doesn't make sense. We're not doing that. I am the final say, right? This is Judas Caesar before they took down the Republic. Okay, I'll confer with you guys. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, that works. We don't do that. We're not doing that. We're not doing this. That's what he's supposed to be, the overseer. If Rick Brunson comes in and says, yo, let's run this with Josh and have this out there, man, F all that. We're going to play Mitchell Robinson. Josh come off the bench if he feels that way. And I didn't even mind Josh Hart coming off the bench. But also shows that, when we, just to be fair, I'm sorry, Josh Hart plays a certain connector on this team in that starting lineup that we don't have with Mitch. And I like Mitch when he is healthy. I love his impact. But we talk about just simply move the ball around for a hockey assist. Some of these rebounds, these hustle plays. No one else on the squad does that besides KMJ for the little time he's played and Josh Hart. So I understand I'm playing Josh Hart, but let me get to go. Zay, you got next. Cut off. Go up.
If Cat could effectively have embraced the Sabonis type of role and a point forward with more dribble handoffs and being a better passer, if he would have taken the time to really embrace that, because again, bro, you went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Mm-hmm. The year before that, he went to the Western Conference Finals. If anybody on this team should be itching for a championship, it should be Cat, because you've gotten closer to it in consecutive years. And you didn't come out and embrace what your coach tried to put in place. I got some more stats right here, and this points to it. With Mike Brown's vision of Mitchell Robinson starting, let's look at the key facts here. With Mitchell Robinson, the Knicks were a top 5 interior defense, allowing only 46 points in the paint per game. Without Mitch and Cat at the 5 in our last 10 games, the opponents are shooting 68% at the rim against the Knicks in January. That's insane. Insane. The Knicks are allowing a staggering 37.4% from 3 since January 1st, the 4th highest in the league. And then on top of that, what is it here? All right, 2-8 in our last 10. We were 25-14 before the cup. So when you look at it, points in the paint with Mitch starting, we were stopping a lot of spray threes. We were stopping a lot of wide open threes because of Mitch's presence there. All we had to do was have Cat embrace his role and force him to embrace it and not move him. But that's not what we're doing. Karl Anthony Towns, my sentiments will be that this is not on Mike Brown, because guess what? It's not at the point for Mike Brown to put his foot down and say, you know what, forget what the coaching staff wanted to do.
Wait, what?
No, we're not at that point yet. He just said in his interview, he just said, hey, I'm not at the point where I'm ready to overhaul everything, which of course he understands he does have to do if it comes down to that. But you want to give these guys a chance to learn and grow through this, because they have to have that willpower if you're trying to win a championship this year. Things may not go our way in the playoffs. We're gonna be challenged. Teams are gonna be motivated to try to beat us coming out the East and upset us. This is going to be a challenge. So this team needs to go through some adversity, and I'm glad they're going through it now. But the reality is the front office will have some pressure on them going into this deadline. Do you go for a big splash saying, hey, this isn't going to work because you're not getting enough out of Cat and you're not going to pay him? You're not going to extend Karl Anthony Towns. You're giving him to the end of the season to help this team win. And regardless of that result, to me, unless the Knicks win a championship, Karl Anthony Towns will be on the move. You cannot justify paying this guy 50-something more million to $60 million when he can't give you anything on both sides of the ball. So to me, you either flip him for 2 high-value players, someone who can defend and also play that point forward role. Maybe call Sacramento and get Sabonis, because you got Scott Perry over there, who's the Knicks' former GM, who will probably be willing to make that kind of move. But something needs to be done, and it's not the coach. I'm not going to blame the coach. Mike Brown has this team playing well. They're generating more threes. We were 27th in the league last year in generating threes.
Okay, hold on. Let me get to let me get to Zay, Darcy. Yo, Zay, go ahead, my guy. Then Jay Boogie, salute my guy.
What's up?
First of all, start with the was it the 51, 52 block? You ain't on that. Come on, man.
Zay, you lost weight.
Yo, wow.
Yeah,
You look like you're vegan now.
Nick, you're such a Caribbean that it's just it's such a Caribbean. Yes, I lost 50 pounds, man. I lost 50 pounds.
Good for you.
That's what happens when you go to academy and a drill sergeant. And my academy was that was fun. Don't get mixed, y'all. It's not fun at all. It's terrible. But first and foremost, shout out to Gamma, bro. You know you're my brother.
Salute, my
Shout out to Nick G, man. Hope the son's good. Darcy. Hope Connecticut's treating you good. J Bug. What's going on, baby? It's so crazy too. I'm going to the game tomorrow with my wifey, man, and thank God the Mavericks are all injured because I think we would probably lose that game tomorrow. Honestly, Gimmo, me, you've been talking, almost every other game. When it comes to, I would say to Joe Darcy, I won't lie, and maybe he's giving me Fizdale, man. Mike Brown is giving me Fizdale, and it's like, yo, I don't remember the last time we lost first of all, we haven't lost like this since Fizdale. If you want to be honest, we haven't lost like this Fizdale. And then hearing some of the quotes that, Mike Brown is saying is just maybe because we've been spoiled with Thibs and the way he thinks, and we all know Thibs. This is his life, breathe, eat basketball, the red light district on off games, That's what he does. But at the end of the day, right, at least we know there was a standard. Here, man, I mean, I got it to a point where, look, last year we heard Mikal complain. We heard a few players complain about just the way Thibs was using them and stuff like that. So I kind of knew the next coach that we were gonna get was gonna be a little less lenient towards having high standards. But I mean, now it's just looking more like we needed those standards because, again, right, the defense, I mean, like I said, I do agree with you. I'm not worried about the offense. The offenses haven't been a problem for the Knicks for like the last couple of years. It's the defense. This has been terrible. I mean, I haven't seen the defense like this since we were tanking, where it's just this bad. And I just, I don't know when it's going to turn around because, we keep saying that, a lot of people keep saying, oh, well, the Knicks are fine, they're going to turn around. But, I mean, we're 2 games away from being in the play-in. I mean, these other teams are winning. You have other teams that are hungry. You got teams like the Celtics that we all, I know I thought they were going to be a lottery team. They're second in the East. You got Jaylen Brown looking like an MVP with the Beijing. It's crazy right now. But you look at his coach. His coach is a psycho. The dude says but dude was definitely he was an emo kid. You could definitely tell he was the emo kid.
Let me ask you this: a guy like Mike Brown, to what me and Darcy have been talking about, a guy like Mike Brown, right? Do you think that the onus falls on him to get the best out of Cat, or to get Cat to play a more conducive role to what he wants to run offensively?
And give me what I'm about to say. You know how I feel, and I agree with you, man. I remember when I don't know if we was live. I think we were live I think we went live the day when Julius Randle and Cat got switched basically, and it was more like it was kind of like a swap, and it was kind of like, was it necessary? Because I mean, at this point, man, Cat is who he is. And it sucks because it hurts me to say this, but I don't think we can win the championship with Cat because you're a lot of these Thibs, Mike Brown, a lot of these coaches have been trying to talk about the clear elephant in the room. I don't think you can win with a big that don't play defense. Unless you're once in a generation, unless you're Joker, where you're clearly so offensively gifted, which in people actually, his defensive numbers got better in the playoffs the year they won a championship. He was actually not as bad as people claim to be, but you have to be that you have to be that offensively good for your big to not be a good, at least decent defender to actually make it decent for your team to win. Cat, I mean, it's just disgusting the way he plays defense. Like you said, he doesn't even help on the off screen. He doesn't step up. I mean, we're trying. You can't hide Jaylen and him. It's just not possible. for you to win the
The funniest thing
championship.
is that people say that, right? And Jalen actually plays for his physical profile, what he does on offense. He's actually not a bad defender. Like, he plays at passing lanes, he tries to play guys straight up, isolation, post ups, and his numbers aren't atrocious. They're not great, but obviously you don't got freaking Earl Watson, Antonio Daniel. You don't got a defensive guard out there. We all know what his role is, right? So it's a mentality thing, right? I'm not even asking for Cat to play like an elite defender, not even close to it.
I just I need him to play. I'm with you, Gilmore. I just need Cat to play
Average.
If Cat played average defense, you're talking about most likely the Knicks being the number 1 seed right now in the East. If he played average defense. But again, he's not giving a crap. And it's hurting us to the point where, again, everybody knows the numbers this January. We're literally one of the worst teams in the entire NBA this January. It has been completely terrible. And again, right? It's frustrating because I feel like it's been like this for the next every year. Every time we have the guy, Patrick Ewing, Carmelo Anthony, Jalen Brunson, and we actually have the first guy who didn't take the money. He's given us the flexibility to get players, and right now we're dropping the ball. And again, we all know his next contract, he ain't giving no discount. that ain't happening.
I'm not even sure they even care about giving this guy an extension. But let me get to Jay Boogie, man. Boogie, my brother.
I just want to add something to what Isaiah said. Denver actually was ranked 13th on defense that year they won the championship. So, like, if you think about being comparable, we don't need to go like to the top 10. Most NBA champions are top 10 in both offense and defense. Joker and they actually showed you that you could win the championship being outside the top 10 and being basically middle of the pack. And that's
Nick, though, you got to remember though. But I mean to cut you off, Nick. But I mean, we're talking about Joker being, if you want to argue, he might be the greatest center offensively of all time.
Okay, and the other half to it is Cat needs to be the best shooting big of all time. He's not that since being here. He's actually 10% less from a percentage point from three, especially wide open threes. He's wide open and shooting 10% less than when he was in Minnesota. J Bug, salute. Go ahead.
You muted J Bug.
You muted J Bug.
Happy 2-6 to you guys. Blessings, life, health, happiness to everybody and everybody that's viewing. Make sure you please hit that like button, share the show, and move it along where it's supposed to be, and stop helping keeping it away from where it's supposed to be. Yeah, it's just funny. I was just scrolling along and I seen the show up. Oh man, I hear what y'all talk about. Me point blank, I want Cat off this team, out of here. And he got somebody else I want up off this team too. It's 2 of them, and they both starters. Well, let's start with Cat. When you're a marquee elite, when you're an elite player, and you know when you're playing bad basketball, you go do something about it. You just try to figure it out. What's going on in my game? Let me work out. Let me get something going on. Let me find my rhythm. Let me do something. But he don't do none of that. See, I've seen plenty of times where when Brunson is making mistakes on the court and he go out the game and he's on the sideline like a quarterback, he's picking up that clip and overviewing what he's missing on the side and what he's missing on the court. So when he go back on the court, he know how to handle it differently. You never see Cat grab that clipboard, looking at nothing about what he's doing during that game. And they have that on the side now. I know I'm not the only one that's seen Brunson with it in his hand, looking what's going on. So with that, you want everybody to believe that you are the best shooting big man that ever consistent to this game because you won a 3-point shootout, but you're not doing nothing far as your game. And you don't need a coach to help you find your game. That's not his job. His job is help to critique what you're doing and what you ain't doing. But your game is your game. You have to find your own game. So me personally, I want Cat up out of here immediately. I couldn't be in the office because tomorrow he'd be on the first thing out of here. And my thing is, like, Leon, you keep talking about wanting to bring a player here. You have not brought nobody here. Anybody that's came here, they came through, you know what I'm saying, a trade. So you haven't brought nobody here. But if, I'm only saying if, because I don't know if it is true or not, but you're here to say so. If Giannis has said he wants to be here, you break your neck to go get him. Point blank. What are you waiting on? You keep saying you're going to bring a person here, and nobody is coming here personally on him. Julius came here. That's the only person. You go get this dude by any means. Mikal Bridges.
Go ahead, man.
You know, when you play for Brooklyn, a lot of people got it confused about his game, thinking that when he come over here, he should be able to take over the game at certain points in time. He's not that. He's not that, period. And I'll give you an example. It was 43 seconds left in the third quarter yesterday. 43 seconds in the third. Phoenix had the rock. Devin Booker got the ball and came up court and fired a tray that went air ball. But in his mind frame, you know where he was at? 2 for 1. Even the announcer said he blew his chance for the 2 for 1. Now they gave it to the Knicks. Mm-hmm. When they gave it to us with the rock, they inbounds the ball into Mikal Bridges. He brought the ball straight up and ran the offense with 37 seconds left. You told me right then and there you don't have it. You did not even think. Brunson would have came up and shot up a quick shot just for the 2 for 1. You came straight up court and passed the ball to the right and cut it. That lets me know you don't have it. So please stop saying around the world, if he was the number 1 for Brooklyn, he should be able to get buckets. No, he was forced to do that over there. It won't nothing over there. All of us over here, Mike, could go over there, can be a number 2 or number 3 option for them guys. Everybody here. So I'm not on a Mikal Bridges thing. I immediately, both of them would be over there in Milwaukee. That's just me. That's just me personally. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that to be nobody's opinion. Jay Boogie's opinion. Go ahead.
I just wanted to jump in. I think, and this is where I gotta say where we gotta, how can I say? We gotta hold Leon Rose feet to the fire. I think I think he jumped the gun with a few things. And again, no GM is perfect. I'm gonna say this: no GM is perfect. For everything Bob Meyer done, you can kind of say the last couple of years has been pretty bad. That's why he kind of probably got himself out of there. But again, right, every GM's not perfect. But I will say that looking back at it, the Mikal thing, he probably definitely jumped the gun on that. He definitely jumped the gun where he kind of shot his load and get I know that. I said pause, man. Listen, I said pause.
I didn't say anything.
No, it's Nick. It's the Caribbean that's coming out of Nick. Pause. I think he jumped the gun with that. I think another big thing that I thought again was when you traded Randall and Dante. Again, right? I like Julius Randle. Was I always a fan of his bipolarness? No. But before Cat got here, I never heard his team being called soft. I never heard this team it just wasn't soft before, Cat got here. And then you lose Dante, I thought was a strong voice in there because, again, you have way too many quiet guys on this team. OG is the socially awkward guy. Mikal's soft-spoken. Jalen's more of not a loud leader, but he just does his thing. You don't have anybody you need that crazy guy. Every championship team kind of need that crazy guy where He's the loud one. He's the one that, we Darcy said, or somebody said, it's not happening. We're not doing that.
But it's
You know
not
what I'm
just
saying?
it's not just a single guy. This is why, like, it's the mentality of a team. When we went and played the Detroit Pistons, every single player on that team wanted to kill the Knicks. From Jenkins, Janice, whatever that guy's name is, to Cade, to Stewart,
Tim Hardaway.
everybody.
Tim Hardaway hates the Knicks.
Everybody wanted to kill the Knicks, bro. When we played, wow. I'm sorry, Caleb Williams just made the throw of the year right now. My bad, y'all.
Oh, he did. Dang, man.
Yo, son, what the hell was that? Anyway, my bad. Back to the what's in. That was just stupid. When I watch this team, I don't get a sense of we play up to teams. I don't feel that this is gonna be a battle in the trenches for us. To Nick's point, right? And since everybody loves a good old podcast, I watched Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart when Cat was on there. I didn't feel like, I hate the Pacers. Everything from this team seems to be very professional. We're gonna go out there, we're gonna do our job, we're gonna score some points, we're gonna, win a game, and that's all right. I don't feel like, damn, bro, that thing really, it stung me. Like, I need to cancel maybe a month of this podcast. Yep. Because I don't feel I want to kill the Pacers. We were right there to a championship. So that's a mentality that's instilled by the coach. I don't care what no one says. I'm not saying the coach is going to sit up there and individually work on a play. They don't do that. They have coaches for that, and you're supposed to be also working on your own game. But a certain mentality. Look at the Pistons this year. Granted, players and whatnot, right? But look at the vast difference with what oh my gosh, why am I forgetting this guy's name now? The coach of the Pistons. I'm forgetting.
BK
Bickerstaff. JB Bickerstaff. That team has an identity. They're gonna be physical on defense. They're gonna hound to the point of attack. Obviously, Cade is their guy. They'll space the floor if they can. But every shot you shoot, and it's also the personality, as corny as it sounds, embodies what Detroit's supposed to be, right? I'm not saying you do that I'm just saying there's an identity there.
But real quick.
Mike Brown. Go ahead, man. And if Darcy, anybody wants to chime in, please.
Two things. And why I agree with you on piggyback what you said. I'm gonna give you an example based on football game, right? When Ben Johnson last week beat the Packers and during his speech said, "I hate them, F the Packers." Mm-hmm. Listen, I'm a Giants fan, and I said, Jesus Christ, I would die for that man because he understands what it means to beat the Packers as a Bears coach and a Bears player.
Right.
Thibs, hard hitting New Britain. Shout out to Connecticut, by the way. Thibs. He's from Bristol. One of them too. I forget which one.
Okay,
but
Isaiah. Oh jeez.
But he embodies what it means. He understood what it meant to be a Knick. Mm-hmm. He understood what it meant, the 90s Knicks, being on that coaching staff, being next to Patrick Ewing, being at those playoff games, understanding the Garden in the 90s. I know, Jay Boog, I know you understand that fully. I know Lee, Gilmore, you're closer to my age, so we were both kids. Nick, I don't know what year you were, but you understood what it meant to be in those times and the energy and how that felt, the 90s and the 2000s. He understood it and put that on the team. Like you said, these dudes, how can you lose to the Pacers and understanding the history of your team and not be angry, not want to come back the next year and kill everybody until you get to the playoffs and face those teams again? How can you not understand what it felt like to beat? When you beat Boston, when you beat these teams that we have rivalry with, you have to, again, right? I know a lot of these dudes don't, how can I say, don't fully embrace it, to me, in my opinion, because, a lot of them, we all know Carl and them all from New Jersey and Philly or wherever they from. But damn, y'all gotta know what this feels like to be on this team and to get this energy and to have that sense of urgency.
You know how they're gonna feel it?
Right now,
players at this point, forget even mentality. I agree, Jay Bookie. I never want a Cat here, and I would trade Cat, but at this point, Now, granted,
Oh my God, this game.
I never saw McCall as that 1A player that he was with the Nets. I talked about it several times. He's just not that guy. I also don't think that they run enough of an offense that I don't even say utilizes skills, but has an like I've been praying for. Even though we saw it, I would say it's the last few games before JB got hurt. You saw a little bit more of it offense away from JB. They don't run with enough with McCall, so you're gonna have to trade for certain players. And I want to go around. I don't know if Nick, with this current roster construction, how do you see things going forward? Do we need to make a trade? Make trades now? Can you restructure this roster at this point? I know you say you don't see this squad getting to a championship, but is there any way that you could bring players here? You trade it. I don't even know who the hell you trade Cat to, but you may have to trade a Mikal Bridges, who has he doesn't have the worst contracts. Maybe bring 2 players in here. Do you foresee that happening? I doubt it before the deadline. I don't know where to start, but talk to me, Nick. How do you see the roster construction going forward? Does this have to break up to even still get into a championship?
It depends on what your goal is. And of course, I don't believe the coach is in trouble per se, but he does need to show that he has, I guess, the ability. Like he can't just outright be out-coached in the playoffs, right? So coming back to the team and roster construction, because he needs to also have his chance to build his team. And this season has been, as what everyone has been saying, is evaluation time. Evaluate the young guys, evaluate the older guys, and, put in your best effort to get into the finals. If you're telling me this is evaluation and you could develop some people, we're seeing flashes from some young guys. Who do you want to keep? And also, too, is there like an obvious gettable person that you could get in the off season? So you have to have money available. Yabusele can't be here if you want to make a move in the off season, right? Because
I don't think he want to be here.
Well, of course, but like the money doesn't make sense. You'll get an extra $5 million, but then you got to cut some guys to start creeping up to where a good player could be got. I think Najee Marshall is a good person to try to get this season.
I like what Graham said too. The video he did on what's that dude's name for Spurs?
Jeremy Sohan.
Yeah.
Sohan is a good one, but that's trading a young. You might have to trade a young person, a young player to get his contract, because you don't want to give up Deuce as of right now. The value on his contract is too high. Because he's paid so little and he's producing. You don't want to give up Deuce. And then my favorite is Jaren Jackson Jr. I think that's the closest thing that you could do. And he's an injury-prone player.
Mm-hmm.
And he's 6'11", 6'10", somewhere in that range. But
he can do for my team, man.
And his rebounding is terrible.
Yeah. He can't rebound, but
don't come to the Knicks.
But okay, let me ask you this: does Josh Hart make up for what he could? He can't do from a rebounding standpoint.
I need my big man rebounding.
But he could defend better than Cat.
Let me Darcy. Okay, go ahead.
So let me explain my reasoning for that. He could offer you the same, or actually a better 3-point percentage than Cat, theoretically. He could give you the defense at the rim better than Cat. But then also, too, like, you have guys that can rebound on the team around them. Meaning, like, Mikal, OG, and Josh combined could give you the rebounding. And then you just saying, hey, Jaren Jackson, or even Mitch, like, you have ways around, because the most successful Memphis team was when they had Steven Adams in there. We have a Steven Adams type player in Mitch. So you could get around the rebounding standpoint by making him do what he does best, which is shoot the three and defend. So it's just a 3-and-D player. Otherwise, you look at Miles Turner, you got those kind of guys to do the same thing for cheaper. Because you really don't, the thing is like, it's a mindset thing that is hampering us. Not to mention the fact that you can't have the point and the center be your weakest points, because all I got to do is say, get JB on me to guard me. I could blow past JB, or I could muscle him down, pause, and I could get to the rim, and Cat is no resistance at the rim. So anytime you span the 1-5 pick and roll, you're immediately going to get to the rim, and you're going to kill us every time. Every single time, because there's no resistance at the rim. You got to have a stop point, because, okay, and just to your point, Darcy, to everyone's point, really, Cat is the weakest link because everyone wants to get to the rim. There's no team in this league that doesn't want to get to the rim and throw the ball out. The problem that I always have with Cat is he's no resistance at the rim. He doesn't do his assignment. That's why Mikal always argues with him. And then the wings, our wing stop, quote unquote, has to make up for what he doesn't do to try to because I don't know if you all see this, but our team is always caught for the past 2 years over helping. So like you get past JB, that's one thing. You know that's coming. But JB does put up a resistance to some degree. The problem is like Cat is not enough of a deterrent or consistent enough. He'll step up and do the right thing and play up to the defense 1 minute, and then the next minute, without informing anyone else, he just plays drop. And that's not reliable.
It's frustrating. And it's crazy, Nick, that you say that. And I will say this too. If Cat wasn't on this, let's say Cat wasn't on this team, and let's replace Cat with Bam, or let me do something that's not a great defender or decent defender. Let's say you replace Cat with Miles Turner or something like that. You would see why the Knicks traded first round picks for Mikal Bridges. I wholeheartedly believe that. Because again, like you said though, Nick, it's so frustrating as the wings on his team to have to do more pick up assignments for Cat when you don't know what this dude's gonna do on the defensive end anytime. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
Like you can't ask me to defend the best player. I'm sorry.
No.
Go ahead.
Finish. Isaiah, finish. My bad. I didn't.
No, it's frustrating as a player to. You gotta already defend the when you're Mikal, you gotta either defend the best point guard on the team or the best wing on the team. That's your job. That's what they pay you for. And then you also gotta help Cat going against his man. Like, bro, and like you said, Nick, when you have your first point of attack and your last point of attack as the weakest link, you can't. Let's say hypothetically the Knicks, we figure this out. We get to the finals. We're faced OKC. How the hell are you going to beat OKC when 5 of the players play defense? The quote-unquote superstar on the team plays defense. And then you got to still cover up on your end 2 out of your starting 5 to cover them for defense. If we were to go to the finals with this team right now, I'm sorry, Darcy, all of us, we would be disappointed because we'll probably get swept.
By the way, I just want to point out with OKC, one of the signs that team is woke, or there's an imprint on that team from the coach. They all run, they all defend, they all close out aggressively.
Every one of them. Every one of them.
And most of them can hit threes. So, and I know, granted, Isaiah Joe was drafted as a 3-point shooter. Cason Wallace more so is like a do-it-all guard from the UK, but he can hit the outside shot. So there's a real imprint. Take SG out of the equation. There's a real imprint on that team from the coach. Not saying that they're not working on individual skills, but I want to get to Darcy. Darcy's going to say something. I think I cut him off by mistake. And then Jay Boogie, if you want to talk about, I know you mentioned Cat. and you said Macau. So I guess Jay Boogie already went, but if Jay Boogie wanted to chime in, but Darcy, if you have, when you look at this roster construction, how are you moving forward? You're not a fan of Triple J. I do agree that, and I just looked at contested rebounds. Cat actually averages more contested rebounds than Jared Jackson, like 3.9 to 2.2. But again, a lot of Cat's rebounds, obviously, it comes from, clear out, like no one's there type of rebounds. And if you could have a Josh there to help out, maybe you don't need as much, but he is injury prone. Does provide you better defense, though, in the paint, which, again, we're talking about complementary play, not necessarily what sticks out in terms of just overall stats. But Darcy, go ahead, talk about roster construction or anything that Nick and as you were saying.
In the summertime, before Kevin Durant got moved to Phoenix, Kevin Durant wanted the Knicks. And the Knicks could have traded Karl Anthony Towns to Phoenix and paired Karl Anthony Towns with Devin Booker and got Kevin Durant. And yeah, Kevin Durant, you might say, yeah, he's 36, 37. But Kevin Durant right now, instead of Karl Anthony Towns, and his team is winning. Kevin Durant has been a consistent 20 points a night, going to get you 4 rebounds. He made my parlay miss tonight. He only had 18. But that's besides the point. That's besides the point. His last 20 games, dude has been putting up 20, so I'm not mad at him.
That's big, by the way, Darcy. That's Vegas, Darcy. That's Vegas.
Yeah. He got that call. But Leon probably is thinking about that. Like, damn, I could have got Kevin Durant, and his team probably would be in a better position right now. And it's sad that that's even a thing because really you would think, oh, well, this team just went to the Eastern Conference Finals. We should be perfectly fine running it back with Cat. And he showed us that that's not the case. And I think 2 things are part of the problem. One, the Knicks have not had any contract extension talks with him, and he probably feels some type of way about that because we did the same thing with Randall. And when that happens, you typically know this team probably is not going to extend you. Or there's some hesitancy there unless you bring them a championship this year. Mm-hmm. That's one thing. And 2, you were mentioned in trade rumors, not just for Giannis, but for Kevin Durant. So obviously the Knicks were listening. The Knicks were doing their due diligence and could have pulled the trigger and didn't, but I know that's something that obviously could be in the back of his mind. You hear the comments he made about, one, not knowing his role within the system. Then just most recently, what did he just say after yesterday's game when they asked him about the vibe, like what's going on a lot? He said it's a lot. It's like, bro, why are you making comments like that? Why are you adding fuel to the fire for there to be a panic or for there to be an outrage? And then the thing about it, when you look at Cat and his natural demeanor, bro, we New York, we don't walk around smiling, happy, and goofy all the time. Like, yeah, we play around, we joke, but that's not. This dude is goofy every time you look at him.
I agree.
And I like his game. I was impressed with how he played last year.
He's from Jersey. I don't know how to get down to Jersey.
No, I'm not jacking that. He's not from Jersey. You're not gonna make Jersey even look soft. I don't even rock with Jersey like that.
He's from Mount Vernon, right, Cat? He's from Mount Vernon.
Bro, I'm not, man, Cat at this point, he's not from nowhere. He's not from nowhere. I'm not attaching no East Coast city to him.
He really from Mount Vernon? When he earned in Mount Vernon? I didn't know that.
Dude is straight so. Like his demeanor, how he is on the court, his voice, everything. And it's okay for you to be soft if you play like a dog, but he's not doing that. Macau is too.
He can't play that cat of a dog.
JB, say what you want about JB, but I don't criticize JB defensively because JB is not scared to try to get into his man. JB's not scared to take charge. JB is going to try to do what he can, and he tries. Mm-hmm. Karl Anthony Towns, there's no fixing this dude at this point. We need to get him off this team. And to be honest with you, I'm perfectly fine. I wouldn't even blame Leon if he didn't. I don't think Leon is going to make any major moves because I don't think he wants anything to go wrong and then he questions of whether he should have kept guys together. And they just won an NBA Cup, so I think he's going to give it that benefit of the doubt. And even if he could pull the trigger on something major, unless it's Giannis before the deadline, I don't think he will. But to me, he should. If you can get a guy who can defend, who can score at a high level, and I hate to say this guy's name because I'm not saying him personally, but a Lauri Markkanen type of guy, a Nikola Vucevic, a guy who can score and hold his own defensively. Vucevic, not so much. That's not who I would pull the trigger on unless you're getting a Kobe White back or something, a dynamic guard and somebody who can defend back. But to me, man, I'd even consider calling Sacramento. Give me Sabonis and give me one of these other guys. Give me one of these other guys. And again, say what you want about Sabonis, but Sabonis has seen success under Mike Brown. You're not going to get rid of Mike Brown. So to me, you got to get guys.
Nick, we can hear you, Nick.
Sabonis is my guy, but the defense is going to struggle with Sabonis. I mean, it's not great with Cat either, but
yeah, but Sabonis will be a better defender.
I won't lie to you. If I'm gonna put a trigger on anybody, if I'm gonna go in on anybody, like you said, give me Triple J, give me Bam. Okay. If he ever comes, if Bam, first and foremost, if Bam comes to give you who?
Bam has a back issue, right? Bam Adebayo.
It can't be a 1-for-1 though.
Go ahead, Jay Boogie. Go ahead, Jay Boogie.
Man. Go ahead, Jay Boogie.
No, I'm just saying. You said Bam. You really think Pat Riley get ready to send Bam over here?
No. I know how that would be. Bam would have to be more of it'd be. Is Bam on the contract like extension?
Yeah, he got extended like a few years ago, right? 2 years ago.
That's getting hard to solve, man. Bam ain't going nowhere from Miami.
I'm about to say, man, he got AJ Wilson in Miami, man. That's a hard combination.
A player, and also too, they're gonna keep Bam because Khalil Wares turned out to be soft and whatever. It just hasn't been working out like they wanted it. The funny thing, you guys mentioned a player who I've always had my issues with. If he somehow got traded today, it'll be a manageable contract. He's only making like 24 years, 20 million or 25 million. Would actually be Miles Turner. Miles Turner would love to play on this team to get back at the Pacers. And I'm not even the biggest Miles Turner fan, but one thing, he at least plays defense. He can space the floor. Is he Cat? No, but honestly, Cat right now he's a myth. If anybody remembers how OJ Mayo used to get hyped up when I was in high school, early 2000s, everywhere you heard about OJ Mayo was really because he changed schools like 8 billion times. But OJ Mayo was like a myth back in the day. Like, oh my gosh, OJ Mayo. And I could never, because I didn't have like cable or whatever to see his face. Not that he played on any, but anyway. That's what Cat is. Cat is a myth. The myth is Cat, and he's greater now than the actual presence of or talent of Cat. I would start trimming down. I wouldn't mind getting a Miles Turner. A player's probably a little bit more complimentary to JB, gives you the defense you need. Because I think, again, the gap is not necessarily on the offensive side, it's on the defensive side. Triple J is a little bit hard for me, to want to trade for, just because, again, the injury issues. But he probably more complimentary than Cat with JB, and a little bit more of a dog on the defensive end. Other big men, it would never happen. I still think we still have to go young. That's why I put out the Jeremy Sohan video. I would love a Tyree Ease in here, but that's definitely not going to happen.
I would love.
And then on the weak side, if you do move on from Mikal Bridges, if you're going to move from Mikal Bridges, you need creators, right? And if we traded for this player, say you move Mikal for whatever, you have to find a way to get a player like Najee Marshall here, who, again, he's not the greatest of three-point shooters, but he's a better creator.
Come on, from Dallas?
Yeah, from Dallas, yeah. I think you could get maybe not necessarily the same type of scoring, but I think you can get a Nickeil Alexander-Walker kind of emergence of him with a little bit more usage and a different environment if he came to New York. To me, he's a tough scorer. He got a little, I don't want to say street ball, that sounds corny, but he got a little bit of dog in his game, right? You could, like, there'd be times where he's just pissing, he could light it up. And I don't think that any teams really trusted him to, like, I don't say give him the offense, But to be a number 2, number 3 option outside of him come off the bench, and obviously playing with the Mavericks right now, but they're not looking to chip. So I don't know if you're gonna move from Mikal Bridges, you have to almost move to the other side of the spectrum in terms of what Mikal Bridges was, kind of like this off ball player, and we also have to feel comfortable with the fact of, and for anyone who's reluctant to trade Mikal, even though Mikal's my son, if we were to trade him, you have to get over the fact that we trade 5 picks for him. That's a sunk cost at this point. If you're gonna try to salvage whatever you think of a championship this year, you have to be able to move on from. But my bad, J Boogie, you want to say something, and Nick. I think Nick.
Nah, you good, guy? You good? You good, guy? Finish cooking, man.
Nah, man. I just we need creators on this team, man. And look, man, Cat was, to me, I know people say Mikal, but Cat was probably the worst because you expect this guy to be the number 2, and all the excuses that were made for him in Minnesota. Everybody's seeing that was all garbage. Again, like Nick pointed out, maybe a month or so ago, he seemed to like playing under Tibbs because Tibbs got the best out of this guy. Again, go back to the playoffs. Offensively, third quarter in the game we lost, Game 4 against the Pacers, was probably the most dog I've seen from Cat. But unless you have a coach that can speak that into his ear, put that bug in his ear on every single play. Because 2 things, you either have a dog or you have somebody who's intelligent, and Cat is neither. So you need somebody to constantly put that bug in his ear to say, yo, bro, you have to do this. On this play, you got to do this. JB's line, you have to do this. You have to do this. Mike Brown doesn't have that voice. So at this point, man, we got to move from Cat. So I'm good on that. But yeah, I'm probably gonna look at more wings. But just to put out there, the reason why I like Jeremy Sohan, if they trust in Peter Patton, and I've seen the work he's done with Ayo and Giddey, I think Jeremy Sohan is a player that what he can't do on the Spurs, which is space the floor, what he would do here would be help bring back that dog in terms of defensive end. Play point of attack, play the pick and roll, can switch, can play anywhere from the 1 to the 5, even though he struggled against some 5s last year. If you look at his last year numbers, don't look at this year. The minutes got cut in half, and I think just mentally he's not there right now in terms of giving it his all to the Spurs. He's probably feeling that he's no longer a core part of the team. But I think if you bring him here, allow him to just go out there and defend. You work in his shooting with Peter Patton, which again, Peter Patton, you look at what he's done with Ayo and Josh Giddey. It's not a lot of tweaks that he makes to their shot, which is a good thing. Meaning that I think it's more of a confidence thing. Ayo's talked about. Ayo said, "Yo, he just had me shooting a whole bunch of shots in the gym, game time situation. I got my confidence up." One of the things you see with both him and Giddey, they don't do the leg kick, so he'll probably help Sohan develop better balance and whatnot. If you get Jeremy Sohan to be just an adequate corner 3-point shooter and add that with the defense, you've literally skipped granted, he's going to be restricted free agent next year, but you've skipped some steps in having to find that defensive dog in some of these guys like a Pacome or a Yabusele, right? And obviously I'm thinking about flipping the Yabusele contract, so it's probably Yabusele Pacome because he makes around $7 million, and some second rounders. Try to draw that bridge again with the Spurs. Obviously, we've had some bad blood with them in the past, right? But these are the type of trades I'm looking to make. These, I don't say smalls, these mid trades, at least in the time being, and then maybe in the summer go for a Cat trade. But we got to start shedding some of the fat here. Guys like Yabusele, no pun intended, young players who are not playing. But this is just not going to work anymore. And I think we have to take a different approach in terms of not just drafting, but just roster construction.
Again, was this Cat last year before he's eligible?
Say it again. Is he what?
This is last year, right? Before his contract eligible?
Ooh, Jeremy Sohan. He's a restricted free agent next year.
No, Cat.
Cat, I think he has one more year, right? Hold on. I want to see he has one more year, $50 million, and then I think next year's like
a play option.
Towns contract. I don't know if he has a player. I know Yabusele has a player option, so you have to probably put a pick next to that. Oh yeah, he did. You're right. Cat has a player option next year. So, my bad. He has 2 more years here. So $53 million this year, $57 million next year, and then 60. Oh my gosh.
He's taking that 60.
$61 million next year, bro.
Bro, look, man. Leon Rose need to get on that phone. You need to get Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't give a damn at this point if you got to give up Cat and OG. Get it done.
I'm not getting rid of OG. I'm not getting rid of the dog.
Wow, man.
We got to kill him. That's the dog.
It got to be Cat and McHale. I'm not giving up.
No,
I'm not giving up dog.
Normally I wouldn't even be open to moving OG, but the reason why I'm open to moving OG is, let's face it, bro. We need a real player with a real will to win in order for us to get this done in New York with JB. You need to pair JB.
Yeah, OG's a champion.
Let me finish, bro. You need to pair JB with somebody who has a real will to win. And the only player that I look at who fits that bill is Giannis Antetokounmpo. This is somebody night in and night out is giving you 25 to 30 points, no question. No question. You don't ever have to question, one, offensively and defensively. Let's stop playing, bro. OG, even for what OG does for this team, bro, OG does not always play with that will to win, bro. And again, Mike Brown even talks about OG has not tapped into himself enough to unlock his full potential, bro. And I don't think he has the mental willpower to do it. These guys do not have that true dog in them to win. And as a New Yorker, somebody coming up out of Brooklyn who's going through life challenges, certain shit just can't be taught. You either a real dog or you one of these dudes that walk around talking about you a dog. You only know you a dog if you battle testing and night out, no matter the situation. You're not letting nobody shit on you, not letting nobody punk you. That's how Giannis is. That's how JB is. To me, you get these two guys and you figure it out. I don't give a damn. We'll be sad about OG, but to have somebody like Giannis who's going to bring that storm on both sides of the board, this dude is a real winner, bro. Giannis is a real generational.
But Darcy, no one is fighting on, bro. If we could have Giannis here, bro, he'd be here yesterday, bro. How many picks are you giving up for Giannis? The last price was 7 first rounders.
We don't have them. We got 3 first round pick swaps to offer, and that's Leon Rose's fault for pulling the trigger on Mikal Bridges. That was an emotional move. And that's a mistake that he made. He should have never done that. Because the reality is if you didn't go and give up those 5 picks for Mikal Bridges, you would have had, even if you had went and still got Cat, you could have made that trade work without giving up Dante because you would have had some picks at your disposal to try to negotiate with Minnesota. You didn't have any picks to even throw in a conversation when you traded for Cat, so you had no choice but to give up a player like Devo. So this is a mistake that Leon Rose, and I don't even like saying Leon Rose made any mistakes because I really like Leon, but unless this team finds a way to win, Leon Rose made a mistake making that trade for Mikal Bridges and Karl-Anthony Towns. You got 2 soft dudes wearing a Knicks jersey, and we look way softer than we ever looked in the past years. Even when we had RJ and these guys, we never looked soft like this. And it's embarrassing for us to be New Yorkers and to watch this product on the floor. You need to get Giannis Antetokounmpo off that Milwaukee Bucks team. This is a generational talent. I don't give a damn. Only players I'm trying to keep in that trade, keep Josh Hart if you can, keep Deuce McBride, keep Mitchell Robinson, JB. Those are your 4 guys right there who you know night in and night out. You don't got to question if these guys want to win. You get Giannis Antetokounmpo, you get some 2-way young guys who play with a will to win. You look at that Detroit game, that shit woke me up. I'm sorry. They got a bunch of young guys over there. Detroit is not even a super offensively talented team. But because they play with that dog identity we used to have, that's why they came out and did what they did to us. And there should be no reason why we're going into games and we're not trying to win. That's unacceptable. These guys are getting paid millions of dollars none of us will ever see. This is insane, bro. We don't deserve something like this. We can't keep creating excuses for stuff like this. OG is bricking wide open threes. Bro, listen, I love OG. I would have never said trade OG, but we got to stop being delusional at this point. When you look at a team like OKC, I watched them in the cup last year against Giannis. They could not do anything with Giannis. Giannis is one of those players teams cannot do anything with him. You want a guy like that in the playoffs. Karl-Anthony Towns, bro, these refs don't respect him. They don't respect him on either side of the ball. He's averaging 3.8 fouls right now. You go up against a team like OKC. I remember last year we had like a 10-game win streak. Both of us, Knicks and OKC, had a 10-game win streak on the line, and we played OKC in Oklahoma. That game woke me up. Jalen Williams, Jada, was able to take Cat out of that game. We went up by like 20 in that second half. They came back and beat us, and after that, the Knicks were never the same.
You know what's crazy?
All the confidence out of this team.
Get
Giannis. Get him. I don't give a damn what we got to give up at this point. Get him.
By the way, Darcy, I don't know about give up anything, bro. I'm not giving up 7 or 5 first rounders again. I do agree the Mikal Bridges trade was probably a mistake. As much as Mikal's my guy, it was probably a mistake to give that much. But again, it was to appease JB, most likely, who did take a sweetheart deal to stay with the Knicks, right? So, mafia rules, man, right? Yeah, I would say the funny thing, the Knicks have had a fall off. The same 35 games. After that OKC game, Knicks were not the same. Mind you, you had 4 players who were averaging over 17 points, shooting like 45% or better from the field overall in Mikal, OG, Brunson, and Cat, and then things fell apart. Last year people blamed it on the minutes. This year, I don't know what they're going to blame it on. Mentality, I don't know what it is, man. But guys, man, I'm about to close this out, man. This is a great, great, great show, man. I appreciate all you guys coming through, man. Jay Boogie, I appreciate you coming through, man. I know you put a lot of money, and the Bears losing probably screwed you over, but I appreciate you coming through.
I ain't got nothing with Chicago. They are who they are who we thought they are.
And we let
I don't got them beating the Rams, but I had it going over.
Khalid, man, that pick, man, golly. Maybe it was too much nail polish on his nails.
But no, I appreciate you guys coming through, man. Isaiah, Nick, Darcy. If you guys got any final thoughts, tomorrow we play the Mavericks on LOK Day. All right, go ahead. Someone said.
I mean, you said something.
No, I said yeah. If you guys got any final thoughts, my bad.
Guillermo, man, first and foremost, great show, bro. This is fun, man. I'll be at the game tomorrow. This is gonna be fun. Thank God we're probably gonna lose. We're probably gonna lose tomorrow too. But yeah, man. Listen, let's go next. Listen, we gotta make some type of change because this ain't gonna be it. This is not gonna get us to where we all expect us and want us to go. It's either the coach gotta step up, Cat gotta step up, or one of these guys gotta go. Most likely, it have to be Cat. But we have to figure things out quickly because at the end of the day, we can't talk about playoffs if we're not going to make it. You know what I mean? So we just got to just go on. But this is good. Great show, Guillermo, Nick, Darcy, J Boog. You guys are great, man. Let's go. Oh, shout out to the Giants though, John Harbaugh, baby.
All right.
Giants are back, baby.
All right. Yo, J Boogie, chill out, man. Chill out, bro. So we got freaking Aaron Glenn who came and get an interception. First time in NFL history. With a coach who was a defensive back. I don't want to talk football.
That's nasty work, by the way.
I don't want to talk football, bro. That, man. All right. Y'all talk about the Knicks. I ain't never seen a championship the Jets. Not even going to come close to it. Anyway, Jay Boogie, final thoughts, my guy.
Yeah, it's a good thing you at the game tomorrow, but it'd be easy for you to know it's New York because you're going to be in the Garden, so enjoy that. But I already got the word. The tailors are working extra hard. The jerseys that they're going to have on tomorrow, they're going to be all white with orange and blue. Ain't going to be no New York on the front because them guys ain't representing the city, and ain't no names going to be on the back because they ain't even got their names the way they playing. So the only thing you're going to see on the jerseys tomorrow is a number. That's all they need. Because they're not playing New York Knicks basketball, man. Something is going to have to happen before February 18th, the deadline. Leon, you need to fix this immediately. Hurry up. Do what you got to do. I'm not talking about a small move. Make a move because this is going to be a waste this season. As much as we talk about what we want to see, what's going to happen, what we want to happen, we don't even talk about what we don't want to see what's happening. Like Miami is really considering thinking about going to get Ja Morant. And like Boston is really considering thinking about going to get Jarrett Jack. See see what I'm saying? These teams right here really, they know it's a chance to win a championship. You know why? Because OKC is not even who people think they are. You know the movie The Predator? You remember when he got hit and he started leaking that green blood? And it was like, oh, he bleeds. OKC is bleeding like the Predator right now. You know what I'm saying? So people are going to make moves because they feel like they got a chance to win a championship this year. It's open season for everybody else but the Knicks, man.
I agree. And by the way, yeah, the Knicks have a target on it. This gets me so mad, bro. Like, and I mentioned this on the other show with Nick. And to Darcy's point about the Detroit game, bro. That Detroit game, I was so mad. It's like, remember when the Knicks had better records on the road than they did at home? Like,
Oh my God! Yeah.
Yep.
I miss when, like, yo, bro, man. I don't. Maybe Jay Boogie remembers this. I mean, y'all all old enough. I love that Kobe Bryant commercial.
Come at me with that old age talk, man.
Yo, bro, I'm just trying.
Yeah,
Yo,
no, I don't remember.
Let him know, J-Boog. Let him know, J-Boog.
I'm just saying, y'all probably remember it. I'm just saying the commercial of Kobe Bryant when he was playing away, he hits the game-winning shot, and the crowd is booing him, and Kobe just like embraces it. Like, there was a certain toughness the Knicks had. When Anthony Edwards said, yo, bro, the Knicks don't even have great individual defenders, bro, but they make you work for every shot. Like, they're annoying like that.
He keeps it a buck order. He keeps it 100. He always gives credit, bro. Like, so that's what
I miss. I'm not saying you play bully ball, but there's a certain pride you have in making teams. Even if we lose and you win, is going to be a Pyrrhic victory for you. Not say someone gets hurt, but you might be out the next day. Like, you're gonna have to work hard. Your hammy's probably gonna be hurt. Your calf, something. We're gonna make you work for every single shot. We're gonna. And even hear what these guys are saying for every team that goes out there. They said it for the Suns. I forget who else we played before the Suns. I think it was Mike Breen, right? What did they keep saying? Yo, this team plays defense to the point where they play right on the edge before the refs call the whistle. Right before the edge. That wasn't just the Suns he said it on. I forget who else he said it on. It's either the team before the Suns or the team before that. Where all these other teams are, granted, the Knicks get called a lot, but it's like we play on our back heels defensively, which is something Brendan O'Connor said we weren't going to do. And yet we play scared, bro. We play the soft defense. We allow teams to set their imprint on us, whether it's an MSG, whether it's on their course. So this season, bro, is just ain't it. I've been blabbering, my bad, y'all. Nick G and then Darcy, final thoughts. Nick G?
I think it's pretty simple. We traded a guy that at least could get us to the playoffs in the East for a guy that never made the playoffs by himself. He's not a leader. So now we have JB who's out, and he's supposed to take over, but he doesn't have takeover mentality. He doesn't have the takeover mindset. He doesn't have the main man, the mindset that, okay, the main guy is out, let me step up. He doesn't have step up mentality. He doesn't have the mentality to say, well, you know what? My team needs me. I'm cooking right now. Let me not get fouls. He doesn't have the wherewithal to say, what do I need to do in this moment and read the room? He doesn't have if you want to say he is the problem, he's the problem. I mean, it's just that simple. We can't we could beat around the bush. We could say trade him for X, Y, Z, this, that, and the third. But I can sit here and say and blame Mikal to some degree. And he's not. He hadn't drawn a foul, I think, since going to the rim since mid-November, I think. So that's the level.
It's the streak, man. He worried about the streak, man. The streak.
The double-doubles.
But when you think about it, drawing fouls, going to the rim is a part of a wing's job on offense. You need to do that to offset the defense and just get guys out the game. So it's a mindset stuff. I think JB has been masking a lot of the problems with this team. And like it is what it is. Like I said, I feel like Mike Brown is gonna have his input by the end of the season, but I don't see the answer coming this season. That Giannis trade, we'll have more picks by the end of the season. I don't see it happening. So unfortunately, and you can rebuttal, but to me, I don't see a big trade or big moves coming. It's gonna be little. Period.
The Knicks film school broke it down. I think it's actually harder for us to get that trade done if we wait until after the offseason. And I'll say this, right?
I don't think
picks
so.
Picks aside, Karl Anthony Towns and OG Anunoby for Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kyle Kuzma, and Gary Trent Jr. works. The money works.
How many picks?
Now I said picks aside, right? Because really, this is the problem. We don't have any picks to give up in a trade. If we wanted to get that done, we only have pick swaps we can give out right now, which Milwaukee could benefit from because they have picks that they traded some away. They traded away some of their picks, which they could use those swaps to help get them back. But I'll say this: to take Karl Anthony Towns off our hands, who we're not going to pay, OG Anunoby is a small sacrifice. To get this soft guy off our team. This dude, they had a clip of him talking to JP on the other day, talking about, it's hard out there without you. You sound like.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Oh, you didn't see that clip?
Please send that clip to me. Please, I'm begging you. Please send me that clip, bro. I'm sick to
He's an Albie Shore, man. You didn't know that, man?
Brothers on Twitter. He was like, it's hard out there without you. Bro, you sound soft. If that's me, bro, I don't care. I'm not fast to get this win. Like, I'm telling it, dudes. Josh, let's get into this. Let's get this win.
Oh, no.
That's soft, bro. Like,
what happened to my What happened to my Knicks, man?
Is the highest paid player on this New York Knicks team. Second highest player is OG Anunoby. OG, again, for how much he's getting paid, I love his defense, I love his size pause, but he's not giving you enough. We're not getting enough from these guys. We need to go ahead and find a way to get that trade done. You get Giannis, you get Kyle Kuzma and Gary Trent, or swap Gary Trent for Thanasis. Either trade works. Now you got JB, you got Mikal, you got Josh Hart, you got Kyle Kuzma, and you got Giannis Antetokounmpo. Or if you need, you can go double big. You go JB, you go Mikal Bridges, you go Josh Hart, Giannis, and Mitchell Robinson. And you get Gary Trent off that bench. You got Deuce McBride, you got Landry Shaman, you got Jordan Clarkson, you got Gary Trent, and if you're not going double big, you got Mitchell Robinson as your 5, or you try to get Jemison. I'll take Trey Jemison over Porty at this point. One of them at the 5, and or you keep Yabu, and you roll with it. But you got two bona fide players. One, you cop up your weaknesses because defensively you only got one guy who can't really hold his own, and that would be JB. You got Giannis Antetokounmpo who's going to give you 30. You got JB who's going to give you 30. You got Josh Hart who's going to help the ball move. You got Mikal Bridges who can hit threes from the corner at the top of the league. What are we talking about here? I will take that over this current squad. Get Giannis Antetokounmpo. You give up OG, you're going to have to feel some pain. But we made a mistake. We got two soft guys on this team, and nobody is gonna do us any favors of taking Karl Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges off our hand. Not with Karl Anthony Towns getting paid $50,000. And Minnesota saw that, and that's why they pulled the trigger and took Julius Randle back. For the headache that Julius Randle was, they were able to get Julius Randle production at $30 million a year. Julius Randle was given 25 points, however many rebounds, and 4 to 5, 6 assists on $30 million a year, and we weren't willing to pay him. We were not willing to pay Julius Randle, but we're willing to pay Karl Anthony Towns $50 million to give us this? Bro, you better trade OG, and again, you paying him. OG's contract is going up. Unless he takes a crazy leap, which honestly I don't think he will. Bro, you get Giannis. You get him. You don't have the pick. You got these pick swaps. Get a third team involved. You take Kyle Kuzma contract back. That's the penalty we pay. Kyle Kuzma, he just due to be a free agent in 2 years. You free up some cap.
Yo, I don't know if you noticed, but on the last two big All-Star moves that's been made, picks ain't really been involved.
That's true.
Picks is not really. They just getting people up out of there. There won't no picks involved.
We not getting away with that. You look at Desmond Bain just got moved for four picks. We gave up 5 picks for Mikal Bridges. Nobody is letting us get away in the trade. Nobody is going. We're not getting a generational player like Giannis Antetokounmpo, which other teams in the league could trade for him. The Milwaukee Bucks would be trading him to a team that's in the same conference. We need to wake up and smell a coffee. We'll be okay. Yeah, you give up OG, but when you get a guy like Giannis making a garden rock every night, and you never have to question him. You never have to question him, bro.
He's been in the league a couple of years, though.
Huh?
I will say this too. I know you got to wrap it up, Gim. I'm sorry, Gim. I know you got to wrap it up. Pause. But no. So Darcy, right? I love Giannis. If we get Giannis, I'm not even questioning that. We also have to take into effect that these last couple of years, especially around the playoff time, he's been hurt.
Knicks got the best medical staff in the NBA. I'll take my chances.
Has he been hurt or has he been worn down?
Listen, bro. Anybody on this team can get hurt right now. OG can get hurt. Karl-Anthony Towns can get hurt. Josh Hart can get hurt. Bro, any of our guys are susceptible to injuries.
I know that,
but he's had calf injuries on that same leg, and we all know that if you continue to push those calf injuries, what could happen? And he is getting up there.
Bro,
getting up there in age. That's not the way. I'm not disagreeing with you. I want Giannis here, bro. I'm not.
Championship or not, bro.
I want to win a championship. I'm just trying to be as realistic as possible.
You don't sound like it.
Are you out of your? Do you understand, bro? Darcy,
hey, bro.
I am a Knicks, Mets, Jets, Manchester United fan. I may never see a championship in my life. Just because I sound Jay don't mean I don't. The Knicks have woken up a dead part of my life, bro. I was resigned to never seeing a Jets or Knicks championship ever. I would kill for a Giannis. I'm just trying to be realistic about it. I would love Giannis here. And I don't disagree with you in the fact that we have to take back a contract. You take back a Kyle Kuzma, fine.
That's fine.
That's fine. Or shoot, I take back a Miles Turner.
And we got to take his brother. We all know that. We got to take his brother. So.
And that's fine.
He just got to put his pride down, man. He got to put his pride down and get inside that office and say, "Yo, my time here is up and done. I don't give y'all everything. You know what I'm saying? I can't do this no more."
I think he did. I'm sorry, I think he did that. He went to the
but now he didn't do it. You see what Trae Young did? Yo, send me to DC, yo.
That's crazy.
Send me to DC. And guess what? They sent him over there and didn't get no picks, no nothing. So if he go knock on that door and say, "Yo, I gave y'all my service and I gave you a championship, man. I want to go to New York. By any means, I want to go to New York." He has to push that button.
Yeah, you need that.
And then Leon has to go get him.
Hey, my bro, he's a Milwaukee Bucks fan, and we talk regularly because he taps him with the Knicks too. So he been talking to me now. He's like, "Yo, what's up with y'all? 2-8 slid, all of that." And I told him, "Hey, bro, it's only 2 options on the table for me at this point because these guys know the expectation. They know the expectation is finals. It don't matter what they do in the regular season, to be honest, because this team can win 60 games in the regular season. If they fall short in the finals, all bets are off. Nobody's going to give a damn about what we did in the regular season, and vice versa. Whether we have a good regular season or bad regular season, it all comes down to what the final result is come playoff time. And I'll tell you this: if we see Detroit again with the way them boys just played us, hey, bro, listen, I don't really fear no team. But bro, them dudes got blood in the water against us. They didn't win not one game on their court against us last year. Not one game.
And they took it to heart.
Yeah, and we tried to embarrass them in that game 5. That's why I got forced to 6. We tried to toy with these dudes. Listen, we don't have no dogs on this team, and that's what concerns me because if you play a tough team like that and they go up one game in that series, we might fold. We might fold. And that would be catastrophic for New York, for this Knicks team, if something like that happened. If this team does not go to the finals, bro, the Knicks fan base will not believe in this team unless we come back with a completely different starting five. The thing about it is, the value crashes come the offseason if they underperform. All of their value goes down, which means if you try to trade them and move them now, you're going to have to give up more. So Leon Rose has to take that into account, and that's why I say right now, if you can get on that phone and there's a package, if they say, you know what, give us this and we'll pull the trigger, you get Giannis right now for 11th seed. He wants to make it. We'll get this done right now. And bro, and I hate to say it, if I got to give up Cat and OG and Deuce, I'm getting it done. Let's get Giannis, bro. Get Giannis.
You like Bridges. You like Bridges. I can tell you like Bridges.
No, I don't like Bridges. I just know ain't nobody gonna do it.
Every trade, you keep saying Bridges. I mean, you keep saying OG. Don't you realize when the Knicks play basketball, OG's biggest problem is, first thing first, he's checking the number one offensive player. Okay? And then why he don't look like he really was supposed to look on offense because he's checking the number one player. Them other guys, if Towns and Bridges is doing what they supposed to do, he not even thinking about concentrating on offense. But now he's forced to try to concentrate on offense because them guys ain't giving him nothing, and he's also checking the number one dude.
No, you 100% right. I agree with you.
Yeah, so that's why I don't look to get rid of OG. Because see, if you got Giannis on this team, OG just gonna lay down and just play straight defense.
Bro,
that's it.
Nobody, bro, we gotta be realistic here. The Milwaukee Bucks are not taking Karl Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges off our hands and giving them a generational talent. Milwaukee is not a destination anybody wants to go to play.
So that's why they would take. See, one thing, Mikal is fresh on. He's fresh on the contract. He's fresh on the contract. He's fresh.
Bro, listen.
Ain't nobody nobody's asking to go there to sign in Milwaukee. I don't know how they got Turner, but I'm saying
they're not doing us any favors, bro.
I know they're not going to do us any favors. But
if we didn't give up those 5 picks, we'd be in a conversation to be able to get a deal done with probably Cat and maybe
we should have gave up those 5 picks. We should have gave them up to Utah. That's what we should have did.
We should have gave them up to either when it was time to get Donovan Mitchell or when it was time to get Giannis. We should have had them picks, and that's Leon Rose's fault. He dropped the ball on that. So guess what? Because we don't have no picks, if we want to generational talent like that, it has to cost us. We got to feel some pain, and that pain is going to be OG and Anunoby. That's that pain right there. And you know what? I'm willing to go through that pain because when I see somebody like Giannis on a New York Knicks court wearing that New York Knicks jersey, getting out in transition, dunking with power, with force, playing with that fire.
And you want to see him in that Charles Oakley number, though.
I'm craving that shit, bro. I'm craving it, bro. Okay, I want to win it.
We got,
bro. I just want to say this. Walt Clyde Frazier's not going to live forever, bro. Mike Breen's not going to live forever. I want these guys to see this Knicks team win a championship. I want these guys to see this before their time is up. How much longer are we going to have to wait, bro? We've been waiting since 73. And I was born in 95. I don't have time for this, bro. Get me somebody who has a will to win every single night. And the only other guy that can compliment JB, that does what JB does, that brings it like how JB does, is Giannis Antetokounmpo. There's no other answer. There's no other answer. There's no other clear-cut player that we could trade any of these guys for that will give us the absolute confidence like a Giannis would. We need to wake up. You give up whatever the hell you got to give up outside. Keep JB, keep Josh Hart, keep Deuce, and keep Mitch. The rest of these guys, bro, you get that done and you live with it. because you're gonna get Kyle Kuzma back. You're gonna get Gary Trent back. You got JC. You on a minimum contract. He's not playing his best right now, but you got him on a minimum contract. And guess what? You're not gonna have any money to re-sign these guys. You need this is the window now. You're not bringing JC back next year. What are we doing? We're gonna and you gotta pay Deuce and you gotta pay Mitch in the offseason. So you're gonna be a second apron team. What are we doing? You need to get this damn deal done. Call Milwaukee right now. What does it take? I'll give you Deuce McBride, OG Anunoby, Karl Anthony Towns. That's pain for us. That's pain. We don't have no picks. I'm giving you 3 pick swaps, and those 3 guys, give me Kyle Kuzma back, give me Giannis back, give me Gary Trent, and I'm gonna take 10 asses off your hands too. And I'm making it work. You got JB, you got Josh Hart, you got Deuce, and you got Mitch. You got the 4 dogs on this team who have been in a year out. Deuce shooting 45% from 3. You got a shooter. You get Gary Trent. Gary Trent dropped buckets in the playoffs this past year for Milwaukee in that first round. You got Jordan Clarkson. You got 2 dynamic guys that can create. You got Josh Hart, your glue guy. You got JB and Giannis right there, your 2 main guys. You have less liabilities. OKC, you see them in the finals. The Knicks winning that. Hartenstein not guarded.
Hey, Mitch is gone, man.
Milwaukee. Go watch Giannis versus
Mitch is leaving, man.
Yeah, look at that.
You gotta keep Mitch. I'm telling you,
Mitch is gone.
Mitch is gone.
Mitch said one of y'all New York jokers put a sticker on the back of my truck.
Yo, that was wild, bro.
I'm minding it. He's
Jay Boogie wasn't New York, so he was in Danbury, bro, in Connecticut. It's weird. Danbury's weird, yo. Danbury's full of weirdos. They put, you know what they put on.
We know. We're not even gonna rehash it. Let me get out of here. But yo, guys, I appreciate you guys, man. Darcy. Zay, who had to tell me 30 billion times he's going to the game tomorrow with his, his little thing. I'm like, all right, I got you. Yeah. He's like,
I got my girl back.
I'm going to stab this dude when I see. Anyway, Nick G's going to say something crazy. Jay Boogie, broken handle, swear he could ball like that. We know it's not even happening. But anyway, I appreciate you guys, man. Please follow me tomorrow for the game tomorrow. Actually, might not be on because we'll see. But because my mom's birthday tomorrow, so we'll see.
Oh, happy birthday, mom!
Happy birthday, mom! Happy birthday, man!
So
don't spend that with moms, man. Don't even call a game. Take moms out, man.
He's African. He's not playing that. She going to church.
Nah.
Take moms out, man. Spend it with her, man. Please.
Yeah. So yeah, I might be out tomorrow, but I appreciate you guys, man. Jay Boogie, all you guys, Darcy, Nick. Zay, I'll catch you guys later. Peace, God bless. Catch you guys on the next one. You guys are the best.
Hey, Dorsey, what's his last name?
Play that rock.
This guy, yo. All right, I'm about to cut off the StreamYard, because I'm going to cut the StreamYard.
What's his last name, Dorsey?
Who?
What's y'all's last name?
Antetokounmpo.
All right, yo.
They gonna need you in the garden to announce his name, man.
Hey, bro, listen. Hey, bro.
You're speaking Spanish.
Man,
Darcy, we got it. Yo, we got to be out, yo.
Bro, I'm sorry, bro. I need that.
We'll be out. Peace.
You know Darcy don't smoke sativa. You know you don't smoke sativa.
Nah.
Yo, Darcy funny hell, yo.
Hey, bro. Hey, man. Come back here, Leon. Stop playing, bro.
Nigga, we don't say this now, nigga. Oh, we on the air?
Yes.
How cool,
My bad, again.